name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whatever area of your chart you're wanting to look at. And if you are wanting to look at your birth chart to greater depth, if you're not familiar with it, there is a link in the description down below so you can get yourself. Actually, there may well be two links by the time I've done this. Now, being a general reading rules apply. Roles can get reversed if there's another person here because the cards don't come with name tags. And timing is hardly absolute with divination. You know, it kicks in when it kicks in, if it kicks in. Now, there's a past and a present in this spread. So the reading either is for you or it isn't. If it isn't, go and watch your rising sign, go and watch your moon sign. In fact, I'd advise always watch your rising sign because in ancient astrology it was the most important. And also I would like you to ask a question. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you, choose one of them, focus on it. Now the focus gives the process energy. And if I don't return that energy to you in terms of an answer that you can use, then the universe will find a way, so it's not wasted. But be aware of all of the questions because the cards will answer whatever they please and not necessarily what you or I think are the most important. Now, other housekeeping, there's a link down there for the Facebook page for this channel. Obviously, I post all of these videos. I post the astrology videos that I watch. I sometimes post other readers and the odd thing that's of interest. I'm thinking that I may start posting some of the science stuff that I follow as well because there's been some phenomenal articles recently I've been reading. So, you know, the page is there as a tool for me to spread my joy, I suppose. So yeah, come and share the joy. And also this month, there is a link down there to a video that I did about the recent hexing of the moon by #BabyWitches of TikTok. So if you are unfamiliar with that, I had a huge amount of fun making that video. So again, come share the joy, come and see what you think. Right, let me bring your cards up. Now Aquarius, I was hoping as I was shuffling the cards that you would get a nicer reading this time because I know last month was a harsh reading, then I think you had a nice one the month before that, but then prior to that there had been stress and more stress. Now, on first glance, this seems like another stressy reading, but it isn't. Well, it is, but it isn't. There is a beautiful ending to it. So we have where you are at the moment, 9 of Swords. Anxiety, nightmares, fears, go into the 10 of Swords, showing a progression, showing something being put to the end, and also showing something being put to death. Now, I think that being put to death is a good thing. I actually feel quite cheerful about that 10 of Swords, especially as it is straight over the Fool. Now, let's have a look at the oracle cards right now, because I rather feel that you are being put into a position of peacemaker. This gift of connection is showing that you are having the gift of, bringing people together who, if it wasn't for your presence, there's no way they would come together. There's no way they would find anything in common with one another. And then we have Came with disputation. And Came is basically a demon, but a deity of debate. A deity of harsh truth, but showing that impassioned debate still has to surrender at the end to the force of logic, to the force of A plus B equals C, so to speak. So, you know, to try and get compromise, because you are undergoing some transformation at the moment, Aquarius, But to be quite honest, with that being clarified by the King of Pentacles, it's not just your transformation. It's almost like you are at the head of a process, or at the center, sorry, of a process of transformation for more than just you. So maybe there's something that you're working on that right now is causing you a lot of stress and nightmares, but you are a leading light within it. But there is going to be loss here. We've got the Five of Cups. Now we've got the Five of Cups here, where obviously there's the loss, but part of that loss is deliberate. Part of that loss is I almost want to say is you throwing something out into the mix. For you saying, I don't need that anymore. Let's see what it does out there. Because that's where it's going to, I always want to say, cause some disruption. Because there's well, I'm not entirely sure what that hole at the bottom is that she's tipping the water into one cup or one bowl out with her foot into that little vortex of sand. Now obviously vortex of sand reminds me immediately of a 1950s B movie. I think it was called Invaders from Mars, but anyway, there's the sandy knoll with a little fence leading up to it, and people would be walking up there, and then they'd just go thump into underground, and they'd come out with a little thing stuck in the back of their neck that was controlling their actions. Cheerful image. I love that film. I'm sure it's Invaders from Mars, but anyway, tipping that bowl of water into it is disrupting that vortex, is feeding it with an ingredient that wasn't intended to be there. And these bowls of water are, well, you could take the emotional symbolism of a bowl of water, that a load of emotions are being added to it or discarded to it, but what I'm also really feeling about is along the lines of water within the Holy Grail, or water within a scrying bowl, something charged, something that will have an effect. Maybe not the original effect for which it was intended. You can't scry, sorry, in a bowl of water that you've just tipped out, but that scrying water's gone into that weird sand vortex, and it's going to do whatever it's going to do, which I think is to the better. But there is still that sense of loss, because immediately after we do have Three of Swords, heartache, loss and pain. So it's almost like something that you fear, right, not something that you fear is going to happen, but that something that you fear is happening has happened by this point. But it almost serves as inspiration for you to totally move forward and to say, right, well, we've got this far. We've got this far. We can go to the end of this process, where through the work that you have been doing, there is a fair enough harvest. The seeds that you're planting here by discarding or throwing out whatever it is are actually going to give a dream or a motivating force to those around you. This Queen of Vessels, so obviously Queen of Cups, I'm thinking about dreams, goals, emotions. But I'm really drawn to the idea that she is a queen. She has a kingdom. She has a large span of influence. And here it looks like she has that bowl of water in her hand and there is grass around her, but all around otherwise is barren, apart from the water at the far back. And so she's on the beach. Hey, that's good. But I feel like she can spread that growth. Just by careful application of that water around, she can spread that growth. So, although the next few days or few weeks, whatever time span this is covering, may be a bit painful, it's not as if it's nothing that you... it's not as if it's something that you don't know that it's coming, because you're well aware of it already. And you may be trying to ignore it, but you're not doing a very good job of ignoring it, because you are well aware that it's coming and you're well aware of the burden that it is placed upon you. But I would say grab that burden with both hands, because it's a transient one. It doesn't last. It's not staying a long time. And you are acting as a peacemaker here. You are acting as creating momentum to move forward with this Fool card here. So 4 of Cups, 4 of Vessels, presenting... That's not even you receiving divine guidance. I feel it's more like you issuing divine guidance. You just have to be careful that you don't dive into it feet first, because there are temptations along the way, and you really do need to make the effort to make sure that you are not tied or limited by all 3 of Wands, right? By anything that would hold you back from anything that would hold you back, anything that would prevent you moving forward. So again, this, whatever this grief thing is at the moment, let it mature and then act. And you already are in let me see, you're already well aware it's going to happen, so you can prepare yourself and you can go, yeah, well, that will have to happen, that will have to happen, and I will have to get comfortable with this, that and the other. And it does look like a card has disappeared, but hey ho, we have at the end of all that victory, as long as you are not held back, as long as you plan appropriately and take advantage of the situations that change around you, because it is not just up to you to tend your own harvest. It is up to you to keep your eyes open for opportunity in the midst of all this peacemaking. And it quite may well be that the opportunity is the option to peacemake. So when you see that option to peacemake, grab it, because let's face it, Aquarius, that's something you're fairly good at, but it's going to lead you on one hell of a journey, but that's a good thing. But the downside here, the force working against you is Pluton with the underworld. Now Pluton was very, I'm going to go with the name rather than what this card is representing, because this card is representing Pluto or Hades, but Pluton was someone stuck in the underworld who had been obsessed with wealth. And so it's those material concerns that really threaten to hold you back. And I would say right now, Aquarius, don't bite your tongue. There is that sense of some harsh truths, but issue the harsh truths in a way of, rather than just going, you did this, you can go, as a result of you doing this, this has happened. Right, now how do we figure out how to sort it? Slight different. The accusation is still there. The statement is still there. But water under the bridge. Who cares? It's done now. How do we move forward from this? Because this offers a form of transformation and wish fulfillment. You are really in a good space to create wish fulfillment for more than just you here. But it's almost like you need to commit to a battle that you know you will win. And the truth is, you know you would win it, but do you want to commit to it? And that's what this burden is that I believe you may be aware of at the moment. It's an impending burden. Now, other people are already carrying this burden, and they're not necessarily having such a good time of it. We have the Tower and we have the Star. They know it's the right thing to do, and it's what they really, really wanted to do in the first place, is carry this burden. But I think your assistance is required, because Nine of Swords here with the Justice card, whatever it is that you've been so worried about and so fearful of, it's already happened, and it's not right. And your efforts are to ensure it does not happen again. Now let's have a look, because before, in the distant past, there was one dream that you'd walked away from, one style of life. You ended up working with another or others to try and go towards this new destination, but there was a fair bit of secrets and lies going on at the time, which made you go, okay, I need to manifest my own situation in this. And you planned to move forward looking after yourself, even though the initial goal that you were after when you walked away from an old dream, I believe that you managed to achieve it, but I think really it got a bit tainted by the deficiencies of other people. Now, you balancing your urge for justice with information that you were presented with led you into the position where you are now. You've been following your intuition to get here. You had plenty of options to take a dream forward, but they all required you to be very, very strong in a nurturing role. And I think what must be going on here is that nurturing role is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. There was another Queen of Pentacles somewhere, wasn't there? That's Queen of Staves. It's coming to an end because, it's not a bad thing that it's coming to an end, this nurturing role that you had been in, simply because that nurture is no longer necessary. It's not that it's being stolen from you, or that the recipient of the nurturing has stormed out or run away or disappeared off the face of the earth or what have you, or that this injustice that has occurred has done damage to them, although they're involved in this injustice somehow. But it's that you only need nurture a child for as long as it takes them to grow up. And now, whatever it is that you were nurturing has grown up, which is something that I feel that you have been struggling to come to terms with, because the world is changing really fast and it's a scary place, especially at the moment, but your peacemaker skills that are coming up, your ability to bring various forces together, I know you think it's all airy-fairy and that the world can just rob it from you yet again like it has done in the past, but I don't believe that that's what's going to be happening here. You are being led on a journey, but with that 9 to 10 there, I rather feel that it's not just you are being led on a journey, it's that you have been led on a journey, and that you are coming to the culmination of that particular journey, and you have the option of making the plans of how you are going to move forward from this place, from this destination. Right, where do we go next? But the most advised role here is in the role of peacemaker. So I don't think, as tempted as you may be with all the sword energy, to go, yeah, not getting involved. I've had enough, door is closed, I'm cutting you out. It's more, oh, well, have you met my friend so-and-so? You've not got a lot in common, but you're going to be useful for one another. And you make that link for people. Because Queen of Pentacles there at the end. So something new to nurture at the very end of this, because there is a finality here. So you're going to replace whatever you were nurturing with something new to nurture, but that must not be an aim to replace what has gone. It is just a natural new thing that will spring into being while you are protecting your new beginning. That's everything, really. I'm going to read out Cain because he is it's quite relevant for the scheme of this. So where is he? Cain's totem bird is the thrush or blackbird. In human guise, he appears with a sharp straight sword amid flames. The sword signifies the divisive power of reasoned argument, and the flames indicate that the truth often causes pain in the short term, however necessary it is for true resolution of a conflict. Cain is the patron of debate and legal dispute, in which passion may drive the argument, but logic is the necessary instrument for a favourable outcome and lasting success. So whatever this injustice that has recently occurred is, I rather feel that you may well be making the person who perpetrated the injustice aware of what they have done. But as I say, it's not in a, you did this. It's in a, this happened because you did that. So now, how are we going to deal with the consequences of this? There's that peacemaking element. This is in effect actually a lot gentler than some of your other readings that I did earlier this year. And it really does indicate the end of a journey and the potential fall here, and there was a fall here as well. So it's the end of the current journey and launching into a whole new level where you are wanting change. Ah, yes, awakened spirit, desire to change. I didn't discuss that, did I? Because right now your spirit seeks freedom. Confined by restrictive interactions and outdated ideals, it's important to understand the connection, one, between your physical body and spiritual self. So you may find some health challenges brought on by the anxiety that you've been suffering. You can work through those two ways. Deal with the health challenges, but deal with the anxiety as well. This deep connection is the soul's expanding awareness into seeing a broader and bigger picture in life, growing impatience with materialistic people, social media and news programs continually highlighting the world's imbalance. So humanitarian efforts are supported now, donating time, effort and energy into community programs or groups. So again, there's that peacemaker element coming in, and implementing healthy and greener alternatives into your life will bring new opportunities, creating a supportive, healthier lifestyle. But the danger also with that, with this card, is being a bit too authoritarian, which is what that devil there is hinting at, and what Cain can risk as well. So remember, it's sharp, harsh truth as a statement, not an accusation, and then well, how do we deal with the consequences? In fact, I might call the reading that, how do we deal with the consequences? So I hope that means something to you, Aquarius. Comment down below if it does. Go and watch the WitchMoonHex video as well, and like, share and subscribe. Now, when I finish these today, obviously I'll be editing. Tomorrow I will do my full moons, and then I will return to record my Chinese zodiac for the month. So yeah, stay tuned. Cheers.